Unless something unexpected happens, SpaceX CEO Elon Musk is on track to deliver the first major update on Starship's progress since September 2019, nearly 2.5 years ago. Want to know the updates? Stay with us. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel Elon Musk World, where we tell you all the latest news about Elon Musk and his multi-billion-dollar companies. In today's video, we are going to tell you about SpaceX and Musk discussing the recent Starship updates. And there are a few topics that appear to be on the table. While it's no longer clear whether SpaceX will be able to stack Starship on top of the Super Heavy in time for the media event, Musk appears to be on track to give an update on Starship development as early as 8 p.m. Central Time on Thursday, February 10th. It will be broadcast live to the world on the company's YouTube channel, assuming the event is similar to the SpaceX CEO's first 4 major Starship presentations. In September 2016, Musk first revealed SpaceX's detailed plans for a massive, fully reusable Mars rocket. The Interplanetary Transport System (ITS) rocket was to be 12 meters in diameter, 122 meters tall, and almost entirely made of carbon fiber composites at that time. It could theoretically launch up to 300 tons to low Earth orbit, more than twice the payload of the next most capable rocket, the Saturn V. In 2017, SpaceX scaled back its ambitions with the BFR, a vehicle measuring 9 meters wide and 106 meters tall, with a third fewer Raptor engines and a predicted performance of 130 tons to LEO. In 2018, SpaceX updated BFR's design, stretching the booster 12 meters for a total height of 118 meters, and hedging its performance figures with an estimate of 100 tons to LEO in a fully reusable configuration. On top of announcing Japanese billionaire Yusaku Maezawa's circumlunar Dear Moon mission and BFR's first real launch contract. Musk made the decision to scrap the rocket's composite-heavy design around the same time as his 2018 BFR presentation, renaming it Starship and replacing the material with stainless steel, effectively reverting structure development to the drawing board. The rocket's basic design, shape, and layout, as well as the Raptor engine that powered it, remained unchanged. SpaceX was able to make rapid progress thanks to steel's low cost compared to cutting-edge composites, and flew Starhopper, a steel water tower-like rocket powered by Raptor, less than a year later in July and August 2019. SpaceX successfully hopped a far more mature Starship prototype known as SN5, which relied on far thinner steel and effectively amounted to a full prototype of the tank section of an orbital-class ship, less than a year after Starhopper's 150 or 500-foot hop. SpaceX repeated the feat a month later in September 2020 with a completely different Starship prototype, demonstrating repeatability in both production and flight. Starship SN8, with flaps and a nose cone, header tanks, and 2 more Raptor engines, nearly aced its launch debut 3 months later. Starship SN15 stuck the landing and survived a 10-kilometer launch in May 2021, more or less fully demonstrating the rocket's exotic skydiver-style descent and last-second flip for a vertical landing after 3 more failed test flights. Since SpaceX began pushing for the first orbital Starship test flight in mid-2021, visible progress has slowed and flight testing has come to a halt. Starship SN15 was not reused, and the company decided not to try to replicate the ship's successful landing with Starship SN16, which was ready for testing just a few days later. Instead, SpaceX has concentrated on building the orbital launch site and slowly completing Starship S-20 and Super Heavy B-4, the pair of spacecraft that were once expected to support the first orbital flight test. Ship 20 has made excellent progress and is effectively ready for a serious flight test, despite being slow in comparison to all previous Starship prototypes. In the last 5 months, Booster 4 has only just finished cryogenic proof testing and has yet to conduct even a partial wet dress rehearsal with live propellant or attempt a single static fire test. In short, over the last few months, the status of Starship development, particularly Booster 4, Ship 20, and the first orbital test flight, has gotten a lot murkier. The first attempt at stacking Starship hardware with Starbase's Orbital Integration Tower, that is a launch tower and a trio of giant robotic arms, took place on February 9th and 10th. And it was a welcome change of pace. Ship 20 was safely stacked atop Super Heavy Booster 4 just a few hours after the first arm lift began, assembling the world's largest rocket for the second time this year. With any luck, SpaceX CEO Elon Musk's first public appearance in over 2 years, scheduled for no earlier than 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, will shed more light on the company's progress toward orbital test flights. SpaceX and Musk haven't said much about what will be discussed during today's update, but there are a few topics that appear to be on the table. The FAA's ongoing review of SpaceX's proposed launch facility in Boca Chica, Texas, the location of Musk's talk, is perhaps the most pressing issue. SpaceX is eager to launch its Starship spacecraft into orbit from its Texas base. It's the primary location where SpaceX has built rocket prototypes and conducted a few high-altitude test flights of the vehicle. However, in order to launch from Texas, the company must first obtain FAA approval. The agency is in charge of issuing licenses for rocket launches into orbit, ensuring that no uninvolved people or property are harmed. The FAA first reviewed the Boca Chica site in 2014, producing a full environmental impact statement, or EIS, that examined how the facility might affect the surrounding area, which is a notable part of a wildlife refuge. The assessment found no major issues, but this was back when SpaceX was considering launching its much smaller Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy rockets from Boca Chica. SpaceX has since given up launching its Falcon rockets from the facility and is now solely focused on launching Starship. Meanwhile, the proposed launch site has grown significantly in scope, including major modifications such as a natural gas plant for pre-treating methane, one of the primary propellants required by Starship's primary Raptor engines. The FAA is currently deciding whether or not to grant Starship a license to operate out of Boca Chica. SpaceX provided a drought assessment detailing what it plans to do with the site in the future as part of the decision-making process. The FAA invited the public for comment on the proposal after the assessment was released and received a whopping 18,000 public comments. Some critics have called for the FAA to conduct another EIS based on SpaceX's proposed updates, while others have expressed extreme enthusiasm for the project. It's also possible that the FAA will do so. The FAA can reach one of three conclusions: that SpaceX updates will have no significant impact on the area, that SpaceX must take certain steps to mitigate its impact on the surrounding area, or that the FAA must conduct another EIS, a process that could take months or even years as the agency interviews more people, collects more data, and conducts extensive research in collaboration with other federal agencies. According to the FAA, a decision should be made by the end of February. The decision was supposed to be made by late December, but the FAA and SpaceX have taken much longer than expected to respond to the massive amount of public feedback. The timing of Musk's presentation this month doesn't feel like a coincidence, especially with the February deadline approaching. Musk has a history of putting public pressure on the FAA when the agency doesn't make the decisions he wants when it comes to rocket launches. The FAA could come up tonight, and if it doesn't, it will undoubtedly be the elephant in the room. During these presentations, Musk may also provide updated timelines for Starship milestones, as he usually does. Previous timelines have always been extremely ambitious and, in retrospect, unrealistic. Musk stated during his most recent presentation in September 2019 that SpaceX would attempt to launch Starship into orbit within the next 6 months. And this is it for today, guys. What are your thoughts? Tell us in the comments section below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And thank you for watching.